Welcome everyone to August Plan With Me. I had asked on Instagram for suggestions on what I should do this month, and a couple of you had brought up the idea of doing something stationery related, which I thought not only would be super cute to do and to recreate some of my favorite stationery items in my collection, but it also gives me an excuse to talk about stationery for the next 10 minutes or so. So I'm down for it. I hope you are too. There was also a lot of requests for student spreads, but that is coming in the next video. Student bullet journal is coming. Leave your requests for spreads down in the description box below. The first spread I'm doing is the month at a glance, and it is being inspired, as you just saw, by a notebook from a company called Olá, which I really love the company name because Olá in Portuguese is hello. I bought this notebook in a stationery store in Toronto, specifically Yorkville. It's called Lay Wines, and I will try and include a link if I can find it online. I will have links to all of the stationery products that I show off and also all the products I'm using in the description box below. I just really loved the pattern on this notebook when I saw it in stores. I love the color combo of it. I love how it's just really like half circles jumbled together, and it kind of just looks gorgeous and more complicated than it actually is, which is perfect because it makes it a really great pattern to recreate. And I also loved using pencil crayons for this one. You'll actually see me use pencil crayons a lot throughout this month's Plan With Me. I feel like I've been sleeping on the pencil crayon life. I'm just using basic Crayolas, but they give you so much control compared to a marker, and you don't have to worry about anything bleeding through the page. So I'm a huge fan. I'm going to try and find ways to incorporate them more into my spreads because it's just a really cute look. And the calendar itself, as you can see, was pretty simple to put together. It's just a basic calendar, but I think the pops of color within the days of each day of the month kind of brought it all together. I'm actually impressed with how good of a recreation I did. I wasn't sure when I first started doing it, but the end result kind of looks pretty close to the pattern on the notebook. So patting myself on the back for that one. For the next spread, I'm recreating a notebook that I got from Paper Chase and also the grid paper from a Clairefontaine notebook. So Paper Chase is, I believe, a UK-based stationery company, but they are now available at least at some Hudson's Bay locations. So if you're in Toronto, the one at Bay and Bloor and the Eaton Centre both have a section dedicated to Paper Chase stuff. And there's always some really wacky things there, so I like to check in usually like twice a year to see what new things they have, and this has been one of my favorite purchases from them. I love the size of the notebook. I love the fact that it's grid paper inside of it. I love the cover, not only the design of it, but that it has like this plastic covering, so I feel like it's a really durable notebook. And to recreate the splatter of the cover, I just used a Tombow and just went at it, did lots of mini tiny dots. To create the grid paper from the Clairefontaine notebook, I'm using this pen from Muji in a gray color, and I felt like it was great to use gray because it kind of gave that look of how grid paper typically looks, which is you kind of see it, but it also isn't too distracting, which I think if I would have used like a black pen, it wouldn't have had the same look that you get from a notebook. So really pleased with that as well. I'm also doodling some of my favorite writing utensils in this video. The first one being the Stabilo Swing Cool highlighter. This one is in a beautiful pink color. I bought this set in Portugal last year, and you're gonna see a few stationery goodies from Portugal pop up in this video because I can't go anywhere, even another country, without clearly buying stationery things that I don't need, but also I need them. I'm also recreating a Tombow twin tone marker in a beautiful blue, and I loved how both of these turned out. I don't know, it makes me super happy to see mini versions of my stationery in my bullet journal. And what I'm sure is coming as a surprise to none of you, I also inserted some black washi tape. I feel like anyone who's watched a few of my past Plan With Me's knows that The obsession with black washi tape has been at another level lately, but I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon. I have accepted this addiction. I'm using this section of the page to write down some summer self-care items like going for an ice cream cone or eating a meal outside. Even today I went to a Starbucks near me and I answered some emails, and it was so nice to just be outside and working. So I definitely want to do that more because it feels a lot more fun when you're getting some fresh air as well. The next spread is going to be another self-care, self-love type spread. I'm recreating a pencil holder that is actually a plant case. A plant case. Oh my god, that's not what that's called. A plant pot. A pot. It's a pot. But I use it as a pencil holder. And I'm using that to just fill in the space at the bottom right of this page. The actual contents of the page is going to be another self-love challenge. So every February for the past 3 years, I have done a challenge called the #Love28 challenge, where I challenge myself to write down something every day that I love about myself, whether it's a physical feature or something about my personality, who I am as a human being, anything really that I love about being me. And I always find that to be a really great exercise because it does challenge you to speak to yourself more kindly and positively rather than being our own worst critics, which I feel like we all have the tendency to do. So since I've loved doing this so much in the past, I feel like it's worth doing more than just once a year. And it's been 6 months since I did the last time, so it feels like a natural time to bring it back in August. For me personally, I always find the summer to be the time of the year where I'm most critical about my body specifically. I think it has to do with the fact that I'm wearing a lot less clothes a lot more often, and there's just more opportunities to nitpick stupid things in the mirror. And that's just a negative habit that I want to reverse into something more positive, and I feel like this is always a really great way to do that. So if you're feeling like you need a little extra self-love in this time of the year, I'd really encourage you to take this challenge with me and share your experience with me on Instagram at Caitlin Marie De Silva, or even let me know if you've taken this challenge before, what your experience has been in the comments below. I feel like I always come out of these learning to appreciate something new about myself, so it should be interesting to see what thing I discover about me this month. One of the most highly requested spreads each month is a meal prep spread, and this is one that incorporates yet again post-it notes, which I think is fitting for 2 reasons. One being the fact that this is a stationery theme, and post-its are stationery, so it feels natural to be using them within this spread, but also because using post-it notes in a meal prep spread specifically allows you to be able to use this spread for the entire month or for a few months. You can design it, and then each week when you are meal prepping, you just switch out the post-it notes and you've got a fresh new spread to fill in. And since, as you can see, I'm doing a lot of doodling of different markers and pens in this spread, it makes it so that even though it is time consuming to kind of put this together, it is kind of worth it because I'm creating a spread that's going to last me for longer than just 1 week. Anytime I can find efficiencies like that, I think it's super important because it's not always realistic to spend hours on your bullet journal each week, especially if you're a student. That kind of time just doesn't exist. For the meal prepping itself, each different meal has its own post-it note, and you write down all your breakfast ideas on one, all your lunch ideas for each day of the week on another, and there's also a post-it for a grocery list. For this weekly spread, I went all out with the stationery doodles, and the notebooks that you're seeing are all the ones I'm going to incorporate at the top of the spread. It's going to be a 2-page weekly spread because there's going to be a lot of space I fill up with doodles, so I didn't want to just make this 1 page and sacrifice precious planning space. So while I do the boring outline work, I'm just going to bump up the music and let us all have a therapeutic watch session of my hand rapidly put this spread together. If you couldn't already tell by the proudly Portuguese text on this notebook, this is another stationery purchase I made in Portugal. I bought it in a small stationery shop in Lisbon, and I couldn't walk away without it because it has this beautiful tram pattern on the notebook cover, which if you've ever been to Lisbon, something that they're iconically known for are these beautiful looking trams throughout the city. I decided to just draw one on my doodle of this cover because I did not want to spend 20 minutes just drawing the pattern for this. And I really liked how it turned out, and I rarely ever use yellow in my bullet journal, so this also felt like it forced me to add a little sunshine to my spread, which I appreciated. I also had to have Harper return for a small visit. This is my old Scribbles That Matter bullet journal, and she wants you all to know that she has really been enjoying retirement life. She's been chilling in a drawer with the other notebooks, getting to know them, and having a great time. This other one is also a notebook that I purchased in Portugal from my grandparents' hometown. It's from a Spanish company. It'll be linked down below. And this exercise book is another notebook that I bought from Paper Chase at the same time that I bought that graffiti notebook. Naturally, I'm sure the question that pops into your head is, Caitlin, what do you use all these notebooks for? And to that I say, honestly, a majority of them are blank. They are waiting for a potential future. I clearly have no self-control in the notebook purchasing department, hence the reason I'm on a temporary ban until I can use some of these up and not feel so bad about bringing new ones home. But I will give all of them a fulfilling future. The weekly spread is a simple vertical layout where the block at the top is for you to put the main event for the day. Below that is habit trackers for each day of the week. And then below the block is where you can write down your to-do list. And I just had a line in the middle dividing them so that you can create different categories of to-do lists depending on your needs. And that is it for today's Plan With Me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And let me know in the comment section down below, what is your #1 favorite stationery item in your home right now? And also, are you as obsessed with notebooks as me? Please make me feel less guilty for my purchasing ways. And I will see you all very soon with a new video. Until then, bye everyone.